It's been 27 years since I've been on this planet. That is like kind of weird for me to say. I feel like I'm still a little kid. Considerably, maybe I still am. I don't know. That's up for you to decide. This is 27 lessons learned at 27 years old. Let's start with number 1. It's when we are at our lowest points and our breaking points that our true colors show. There have been so many times when I've met people who are surface level, so cool, so friendly, so warm, but as soon as they're uncomfortable or they get upset at something, you see their true colors. A lot of the time, it's when they don't need to be nice to somebody, it's inconvenient to be nice to somebody. It takes a lot of strength to be kind and warm when you don't necessarily need or want to be. Persistence triumphs over talent every single time. You do not need to be talented to be successful at something. In some extreme cases, you do. I'm not saying that we're all LeBron James, but persistence and the sheer will to keep going will push you through to completely new limits. If you just keep doing something and keep doing it and keep doing it, trust me, you will get there. And that goes along with my third lesson. Consistency is key. Be the person that keeps showing up. Be stubborn. It sets really good precedent for yourself, and this is how you learn a skill. This is how a skill compounds if you keep showing up every single day and you maintain consistency. It is the best way to get better at something, being consistent. Under promise, over deliver. This more so applies in career world and in the professional world. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you're trying to appease the client right off the bat. People really appreciate transparency, so that's why it's so important to be honest and just pad your time. You would rather underpromise and over-deliver. If something takes 2 days to do, immediately double it and say that it's gonna take 4 days and get it done in 1 day. You automatically look great, you're a hero, but you've also given yourself an insurance policy on the project delivery timeline. Closed mouths don't get fed. If you want something, speak up. If you want a promotion at work, speak up. Show that you're doing the work. If you're doing a new YouTube channel or a new creative project, speak up. Tell people that you're doing it. I know it can be embarrassing, but it's great to just tell people because you never know when that next opportunity is going to be coming around the bend. It's just good to be vocal. This one's actually for driving, like driving your car or motorcycle. Do what's expected, not what's polite. I saw this one on Reddit like years ago and it's always stuck with me. There are so many people that try to be polite or overly polite on the road just for the sake of being polite. However, we're in vehicles that are often moving above 20 miles per hour and it's really dangerous. So you want to do what's expected while you're in a car or in traffic. So if that's merging onto a highway, merge onto a highway. Don't yield to other cars. It's super, super dangerous. And it puts other drivers on the road, including yourself, at risk. Your ideas are more important than you think. I didn't just start to realize this until, honestly, I began doing this YouTube channel. There's a lot of people that have come and connected with me, and I'm super fortunate for that. Everybody is an expert in something. I know that sounds really weird, but because we all grow up differently, we come from different backgrounds, there's something that we specialize in, and you can talk on that. So you can teach at least one person in this world something that you know about. So trust me, your ideas and your skills and your experience is much more important than you think. I'm not saying go start a YouTube channel, you can do whatever you want, but I am saying that you have a voice and you can use it. Number 8, this one more so pertains to like sports, I would say, but play with heart and hang your head high. It sounds a little bit corny, but every single time you miss a point or you miss a bucket or you just miss something in life, try not to be embarrassed about it. Like you always want to keep your chin up and hang your head high. This is important because a lot of times like the mind will follow the body, if that makes sense. So even if you're feeling disappointed, literally physically keep your chin up and your mind will think positively and your mind will feel uplifted. So always keep your chin up, especially in sports, but also in life in general. Number 9, you can DIY it. In this day and age, you can literally do it yourself. Like you can basically do anything yourself. You could probably teach yourself how to fly. Echoing my point about your ideas being more important, there's a lot of people that put their ideas out there thanks to technology. Just go on YouTube and look it up. Chances are you can just do it yourself. Number 10, your vibe is your tribe. I think in this context, this mostly applies to like YouTube. You could apply this on a more macro scale. Charles Bukowski once said, don't try. I actually think it's on his tombstone, which is pretty badass. But like ultimately, you don't want to try so hard and try to get people to come to you. Just be who you are and like you will attract what you put out there. And I know it sounds like super manifesty and spacey and stuff. You don't want to compromise your beliefs and your personality for other people out there. Just be yourself and like you will attract the tribe that comes to you. When I started my channel, I experimented with like a bunch of different approaches, like smiling a lot more and really looking at the camera, and I realized like that just isn't me. You know, I'm like more calm, a little bit monotone to be honest, and chill. It's like a chill environment. I got my guitars and stuff in the background, and that vibe might not be for everybody, and that's totally fine. Like, I'm building it and the people will come who want to show up for the content. Number 11, in a world of information overload, I realized that sometimes the best advice is literally no advice at all. As I said, we live in a world with information constantly being thrown at you, and a lot of times what happens is we get analysis paralysis. There's too many options and we don't end up doing anything at all because we feel super overwhelmed. So sometimes the best advice is no advice at all, no strategy at all. Just start doing something, and by merely gaining experience and exposure to the thing, you will learn how to do it, and chances are you'll probably get advice from yourself. So just go and start doing it. Number 12, this one is one of my favorites and probably my top 3 out of the 27, but the power of compound growth. We typically think of this concept in terms of like investing in stocks and stuff, compound interest over a 60-year period until you retire. It's the same exact thing for effort and time that you put into developing yourself. A lot of the times if you're developing a new skill, it's going to take a long time to get really good at it, and you have to keep in mind that at first you're not going to see much growth, but eventually over time you'll see that growth shoot up really quickly. You can apply this to so many different areas of your life. You just have to get through the disappointing and boring parts of the process, which is typically at the beginning. This is a crazy statistic. I think it was something like 97% of Warren Buffett's wealth was accumulated after the age of 52. This is amazing. It took Warren Buffett half a lifetime to get to where he is right now. So you can apply this to your own life, the power of compound growth. Number 13, life favors the bold. Sometimes you just gotta say F it and just go for the thing. If it's not going to hurt you or other people, it's not gonna break any laws and be unethical, just go for it. Just do it. If you're trying to move across the world, just do it. You're trying to learn a new skill, just do it. Be bold and do the damn thing. We have a short amount of time on this earth, so you might as well go after what it is that you want to go after. All right, this next one I learned from Tim Ferriss. Ask for permission, beg for forgiveness. It's okay to be a little rule breaker. Sort of echoing my last point, like you can be bold. If it's not going to hurt other people or yourself, it's not unethical, it's not unhealthy or breaking any laws, just do it. And if somebody gets mad, you can beg for your forgiveness. You don't need to ask for permission so much to do things. We can just do things and apologize later if it pisses somebody off. I'm not saying to do this for everything, but again, it's okay to be a little rule breaker just to get things done or to bypass and bend the rules. KISS, keep it short, sweet. I learned this from my dad. This especially applies to like the professional world and writing emails and being on the phone. Like, people do not want to read paragraphs of emails. They don't want to hear you blabber on the phone. Try to keep your explanations concise. People often get overwhelmed if you start talking to them or at them for more than a few seconds. People have only so much time in the day, so don't give them too much of your time. Be respectful of that and keep things brief, especially in emails and on the phone. Number 16, do not go back to school unless it's like law or medicine or some specialized skill where you really need the degree. There's a lot of different programs online that are cheap or free that will teach you the skill that you are trying to learn. And this kind of segues into my next lesson. Just Google it. If you can't figure out why your chickens aren't hatching their eggs, Google it. If you can't figure out the lifespan of the average dolphin, just Google it. I think that one of the best skills that you can have is being resourceful and honestly learning how to Google things and learning how to research on the internet. Most of learning something new and figuring out problems is actually learning how to learn. So just get really good at learning. Number 18, maybe you're right. This is a great phrase to say if you're trying to diffuse a heated argument or some confrontation. Why it's so great is because it acknowledges the other person's feelings, which is like the biggest part of being in an argument. People want to feel heard. It also still kind of validates that you're still standing your ground. You're observing both points, and it's a very fair thing to say. Try it next time you get into a heated argument or some sort of confrontation. Maybe you're right. 19, the process of becoming comfortable is typically uncomfortable. Think about it. You're trying to be more financially comfortable. Chances are you're going to have to learn a new skill or interview a ton. You're trying to meet the love of your life. You got to go on a bunch of dates or meet a lot of people. That can be pretty uncomfortable. Basically, there's any place that you're trying to get to be or any person that you're trying trying to become, you're going to be uncomfortable in the process of getting there. So get used to being uncomfortable. Number 20, you have to go through, not around. In an age where everybody is telling you that you can become a millionaire in 3 months by selling random stuff on Amazon and building an Amazon FBA empire or whatever, I don't even know what these things are. The truth is that you can't bypass becoming comfortable. You can't bypass learning a new skill. It takes years to do this stuff, and anything that you see about that is complete BS. You have to go through. You cannot go around and do it. With that being said, experience is the best advice. Sometimes if you're just looking for the answers, you have to just do it. You have to just gain some experience, gain some exposure to the thing, and that will tell you a lot. That will indicate so much to you. Number 22, take it with a grain of salt. This reminds me of one of my favorite books, The 4 Agreements, and one of the points is don't take it personally. We all come from different backgrounds. We all grew up differently. We all have our own set of experiences. So when somebody is giving you advice or making a point to you, it's a projection of everything that they've experienced thus far. So you have to take that into account. So you might ask 5 different people for advice, and you might get completely different responses from those 5 people, and that's just based on their experience and reality thus far. So take everything with a grain of salt. You can extract value from different people in different ways, but I wouldn't rely on the advice of one single person all the time. Number 23, update your Gmail settings to allow 30 seconds to unsend. 30 seconds at the least, like outbound emails. I learned this at my current job, but this is an amazing setting. Like a lot of times we send out emails that are emotionally charged, and you can prevent a stupid email that you sent out that you immediately regret within 30 seconds of sending it. It saved me some time and some heartache. You can Google how to do it. Super easy. Number 24, I do some of my best thinking when I jog or go on long walks. No AirPods, no podcasts, no music, no talking to people on the phone, none of that. Just me and my thoughts. It's a great way to clear your head. It might sound super boring. That's the point. When you get your body moving, it stops your mind from thinking so much, and actually through that, ironically, you gain a lot of clarity on things. Number 25, sleep on it. This is especially important for big life decisions. You don't want to impulsively make decisions. A lot of times we make emotionally charged decisions, and our emotions are not the best indicators of logic. So if you are making really any decision, there's a lot of emotion behind it. My advice is to sleep on it. Take a day, take 2 days, take 3 days, even better, to decide. Rome was not built in a day. You don't need to decide tomorrow unless it's totally dire. And if that's so, then use your best judgment. But if you can, just sleep on it. Trust me, you'll have clarity in the morning. Number 26, contrary to popular belief, you do not need to save and invest all of your money. There's a lot of unsolicited advice on the internet. I guess you could say I'm giving you unsolicited advice. And in no way am I a financial expert. I'm not a banker or anything. I think that a lot of people on the internet tell you to like save and invest like half your income with this whole like FIRE movement or whatever, financially independent, retire early. Honestly, I think that that's super ridiculous. It's like not really being present. I agree with some of the principles in it, but I think that it's like, you know, we work to enjoy our lives. That's just my philosophy. It's not a binary thing. You don't work just to live life at some later date. I think that you should save and invest a portion of your money and then get your bills out of the way and just honestly enjoy yourself. If you want to go take a trip, spend your money on that. It's well worth it. You want to be present in the moment. And number 27, this mostly applies to creative projects, at least in this context, but know when to walk away. The last few years, I have been on a creative tear, just trying a bunch of new projects. I did a music project during the pandemic, and then I ended up walking away from that to start a YouTube channel. And then I did a YouTube channel for a few months, and then I walked away from that to start this channel. It's okay to walk away. It does not mean that you are failing. If anything, it's kind of like a creative rebirth. It gives you perspective and helps you to reflect on past projects, and honestly gives you a wealth of knowledge and experience that you can apply to your current or future creative projects. All right, I am actually kind of tired. If you have made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for joining. I'm glad to have shared the space and time with you. Hopefully you've extracted some value from some or perhaps all of these points. If you like the content, go check out another video. Any support is appreciated. Thanks again. See you guys soon. Peace.